Have you ever wondered how the Harry Potter story might have changed if just one thing had been different? A single choice, a twist of fate, or a moment of hesitation. Any of these could have altered the course of the wizarding world forever. Welcome to a journey through the realms of possibility, where we explore the what-if scenarios that linger in the shadows of the Harry Potter saga. We see. In this video, we'll delve into intriguing hypothetical situations, each one a doorway to an alternate reality. What if Harry had been sorted into Slytherin? What if Snape had never loved Lily? What if Dumbledore had never died? These questions invite us to imagine how the story we know and love might have unfolded differently, revealing new insights into the characters, the magic, and the timeless themes of the series. So, sit back, relax, and let your mind wander. Whether you're a Gryffindor at heart, a Slytherin strategist, or simply a fan of the wizarding world, this journey is for you. As we explore these what-if scenarios, feel free to close your eyes, drift into thought, or even fall asleep. Because sometimes the magic of Harry Potter lies not just in what happened, but in what could have been. What if Harry had been sorted into Slytherin? Picture the Great Hall aglow with candlelight as first-year students await their sorting. The sorting hat, wise and ancient, is placed upon Harry Potter's head. We know the outcome, Gryffindor, the house of bravery and courage. But what if, in that pivotal moment, the hat had shouted Slytherin instead? How would Harry's story have changed if he had walked to the table draped in green and silver? Let's start by revisiting the sorting scene from Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. The sorting hat sensed qualities in Harry that aligned with Slytherin: ambition, resourcefulness, and a certain disregard for the rules. Harry, however, pleaded, not Slytherin, and the hat honored his choice. But what if he hadn't resisted? What if he had embraced the possibility of Slytherin, stepping into the House of Serpents? First, consider Harry's friendships. In Gryffindor, he found Ron Weasley and Hermione Granger, loyal companions who stood by him through every trial. In Slytherin, his path might have crossed more frequently with Draco Malfoy, who offered friendship on the Hogwarts Express, but was rebuffed. Could Harry and Draco have become allies, perhaps even friends, under different circumstances? It's possible. Both boys were shaped by their environments, Draco by his family's prejudices, Harry by his rejection of them. In Slytherin, Harry might have seen Draco's vulnerabilities up close, perhaps influencing him away from the dark path he later took. But there's a darker side to this scenario. Slytherin during Harry's time was steeped in pure-blood ideology, with many students sympathetic to Voldemort's cause. Harry, as the boy who lived, would have been an outsider from the start. His Muggle-born mother and his role in Voldemort's downfall would have made him a target for scorn rather than admiration. Could Harry have navigated these treacherous waters, or would the pressure have pushed him toward bitterness and isolation? Let's not forget Severus Snape, the head of Slytherin House. Snape's animosity toward Harry stemmed from his resemblance to James Potter, but as a Slytherin, Harry would have been under Snape's direct care. Would Snape have protected him, seeing him as one of his own, or would his hatred have deepened, viewing Harry as a constant reminder of Lily's choice? It's a delicate balance. Snape's loyalty to Dumbledore might have clashed with his personal feelings, creating a complex dynamic. Now, imagine Harry's connection to Voldemort. Both were parcel mouths, a rare trait tied to Salazar Slytherin. In Slytherin, Harry's ability to speak to snakes might have been celebrated, not feared. This could have drawn him closer to Voldemort's ideology, especially without Gryffindor's counterbalancing values. Would Harry have been more susceptible to the Dark Lord's manipulations, or would his inherent goodness have prevailed? Let's ponder the broader implications. Harry's choice of Gryffindor set him on a path of courage, sacrifice, and loyalty. In Slytherin, his journey might have been one of cunning, ambition, and power. Perhaps he would have risen as a leader within the house, challenging the pure-blood orthodoxy from within. Or maybe, under the weight of suspicion and isolation, he would have struggled to find his place, his trust in others eroded by the house's competitive nature. What if Snape had never loved Lily? Now, take a moment to imagine this alternate reality. Picture Harry in Slytherin robes, navigating the dungeons of Hogwarts, his path forever altered by a single word. As we ponder this, let's move on to our next scenario. Severus Snape, one of the most complex characters in the Harry Potter saga. His love for Lily Evans, Harry's mother, defined his life, his choices, and ultimately, his redemption. But what if Snape had never loved Lily? How would his story and the fate of the wizarding world have changed without this pivotal emotion? Let's revisit Snape's journey. From a young age, he was drawn to the dark arts, influenced by his troubled home life and his desire for power. Yet, his love for Lily was a beacon of light, a connection to something pure and good. When he lost her to James Potter and later to Voldemort's curse, that love turned into guilt and a lifelong commitment to protect Harry. Imagine a world where Snape never loved Lily. Perhaps they never met as children, or their friendship never blossomed. Without this bond, Snape's descent into the dark arts might have been unchecked. He would have had no reason to turn against Voldemort, no motive to become a double agent for Dumbledore. In this reality, Snape could have remained a loyal Death Eater, fully committed to Voldemort's cause. First, consider Harry's protection. In the original story, Snape's love for Lily led him to beg Voldemort to spare her life. When Voldemort failed to do so, Snape's grief drove him to Dumbledore, securing his loyalty. Without this, Harry would have lost a crucial protector. Dumbledore might have found another way to shield Harry, but Snape's unique position within Voldemort's ranks was irreplaceable. Think about the Philosopher's Stone. Snape's subtle interventions, like countering Quirrell's curse during the Quidditch match, were motivated by his promise to protect Harry. Without that promise, Snape might have allowed Quirrell to succeed, or even aided him. Harry's first year at Hogwarts could have ended in disaster, with Voldemort returning to power much earlier. The impact extends beyond Harry. Snape's role as a spy was instrumental in the fight against Voldemort. He provided critical intelligence to the Order of the Phoenix, risked his life to maintain his cover, and delivered the knowledge that led to Voldemort's downfall. Without Snape's love for Lily, there would have been no spy within Voldemort's inner circle. The Order might have been blind to Voldemort's plans, vulnerable to surprise attacks and strategic blunders. Consider Snape's relationship with Dumbledore. In the original story, Dumbledore trusted Snape because of his love for Lily, knowing it anchored him to the light. Without that love, Dumbledore might have viewed Snape as an irredeemable villain, unworthy of redemption. Their alliance, so crucial to the series' outcome, might never have formed. Now, imagine Snape's character arc. Without his love for Lily, he might have become a darker, more ruthless figure. His bitterness and cruelty, unchecked by guilt or remorse, could have made him a formidable Death Eater, perhaps rivaling Bellatrix Lestrange in his devotion to Voldemort. Alternatively, without the emotional depth love brought him, Snape might have been a colder, more calculating villain, lacking the tragic complexity that made him so compelling. But could Snape have found another path to redemption? Perhaps his experiences as a Death Eater would have disillusioned him, leading him to betray Voldemort for other reasons, like a desire for power or a personal vendetta. Yet, this seems less likely, as his love for Lily was the catalyst that pushed him towards the light. Take a moment to imagine Snape without the memory of Lily, a man consumed by bitterness with no light to guide him. It's a sobering thought, one that reminds us of the power of love, even in its most painful forms. Now, let's turn to another pivotal figure. What if Dumbledore had never died? Albus Dumbledore, wise, enigmatic, and often inscrutable. His death in the Half-Blood Prince marked a turning point, leaving Harry to face Voldemort without his mentor's guidance. But what if Dumbledore had never died? How would the story have changed if the greatest wizard of his time had remained by Harry's side? Let's recall the circumstances of Dumbledore's death. He was killed by Snape on the Astronomy Tower, a mercy killing arranged by Dumbledore to spare Draco Malfoy and solidify Snape's position as a double agent. His death was a calculated move, but it left Harry emotionally shattered and forced him to take on leadership. Imagine a world where Dumbledore survived. Perhaps Snape refused to carry out the plan, or Harry intervened in time. With Dumbledore alive, the hunt for Horcruxes and the final battle against Voldemort would have been profoundly different. Consider the Horcrux hunt. In the Deathly Hallows, Harry, Ron, and Hermione embarked on this perilous journey alone, guided by Dumbledore's vague clues. With Dumbledore alive, they would have had a powerful ally and a wealth of knowledge. His expertise in magic, understanding of Voldemort's mind, and strategic brilliance might have made the hunt more efficient, locating and destroying the Horcruxes more quickly. But there's a flip side. Dumbledore's presence might have hindered Harry's growth as a leader. Harry's journey is one of self-discovery, learning to trust his instincts and make difficult choices. Dumbledore's death forced him to step up, becoming the hero he was destined to be. With Dumbledore alive, Harry might have remained in his shadow, relying on his guidance rather than forging his own path. Think about the wizarding world. Dumbledore was a symbol of hope, a beacon in dark times. His death galvanized the resistance, inspiring others to fight back. If he had lived, the resistance might have been stronger, with Dumbledore leading the charge. However, Voldemort might have been more cautious, knowing his greatest adversary was still alive, potentially delaying the final battle. Dumbledore's knowledge of the Deathly Hallows is another factor. In the original story, Harry learns about the Hallows through posthumous gifts and clues. With Dumbledore alive, he could have explained their significance directly, perhaps guiding Harry in their use, or discouraging him from pursuing them altogether. But there's a darker possibility. Dumbledore, despite his wisdom, was not infallible. His past mistakes, like his youthful obsession with power, haunted him. If he had lived, he might have made errors, particularly regarding the Elder Wand. In the original story, his death prevented Voldemort from claiming the wand's full power. If Dumbledore had lived, Voldemort might have defeated him, gaining control of the Elder Wand and becoming nearly invincible. Emotionally, Dumbledore's survival might have pressured Harry to live up to his mentor's legacy, straining their relationship as Harry learned more about Dumbledore's manipulative tendencies. Imagine Dumbledore, his eyes twinkling with wisdom, guiding Harry through the darkest times. It's comforting, but also a reminder that growth often comes from loss. Now, let's shift to another beloved character. What if Hermione had been sorted into Ravenclaw? Hermione Granger, brilliant, resourceful, and fiercely loyal. Her sorting into Gryffindor was defining, but what if the Sorting Hat had placed her in Ravenclaw instead? How would her story and the Golden Trio have changed if she had joined the House of Wit and Learning? Only in the Philosopher's Stone, the Hat debated between Gryffindor and Ravenclaw for Hermione, ultimately choosing Gryffindor for her bravery. But her intelligence and love of learning made Ravenclaw a natural fit. Imagine the Hat calling Ravenclaw as she walks to the blue and bronze table, her mind racing with thoughts of knowledge. First, consider her relationship with Harry and Ron. In Gryffindor, their friendship was forged through shared experiences, trolls, escapades, and rule-breaking. In Ravenclaw, she might have found intellectuals, but her bond with Harry and Ron could have been weaker. Without a shared common room, their friendship might have taken longer to form, or never formed at all. Without Hermione, Harry and Ron might have struggled academically and in their adventures. Her quick thinking saved them countless times, from Polyjuice Potion to the Chamber of Secrets. Without her, they might have failed to uncover clues or fallen into traps. Dite Siawi. In Ravenclaw, Hermione might have become a leader, using her intellect to solve problems and research spells. Her role might have been less action-oriented, but still vital. However, her journey could have been more cerebral, focused on mastering magic rather than fighting. Ravenclaw's emphasis on individuality might have isolated her. In Gryffindor, she found friends who valued her heart and courage. In Ravenclaw, she might have been surrounded by brilliant peers lacking warmth, leading to a lonelier Hermione. In her presence in Gryffindor was crucial to key events. Without her, the trio might never have discovered the Philosopher's Stone or survived the Time Turner rescue. But in Ravenclaw, she might have uncovered different secrets, like the Deathly Hallows earlier. Picture Hermione in Ravenclaw Tower, surrounded by books, her mind alight with possibilities. It's a different path, reminding us of her many facets. Now, let's explore a scenario that could have changed the story's foundation. What if Voldemort had chosen Neville as the Chosen One? The prophecy shaped Harry's destiny, but it could have applied to two boys, Harry Potter and Neville Longbottom. Voldemort chose Harry, marking him as his equal. But what if he had chosen Neville instead? How would the story have unfolded if Neville had been the chosen one? The prophecy spoke of a child born at the end of July to parents who defied Voldemort. Both Harry and Neville fit, but Voldemort chose Harry. Imagine if he saw Neville, a pureblood, as the greater threat, attacking the Longbottoms and marking Neville. Neville would have been orphaned, raised by his grandmother, Augusta. His parents' deaths might have spared them torture, but Neville would have grown up under the weight of being the chosen one. Timid at first, he might have transformed earlier, forced by expectations. Neville was cautious and thoughtful, unlike Harry's impulsiveness. As the chosen one, he might have approached Voldemort with strategy, relying on allies. Harry, without the prophecy, might have been an ordinary wizard, perhaps supporting Neville. If Neville were marked, he might have received powers like Harry's Parseltongue, shaped differently by his nature, perhaps his belief in others' goodness. His power, the Dark Lord knows not, could have been his ability to inspire courage. The Longbottoms' deaths might have made them martyrs, inspiring resistance. Neville's journey could have been one of community, unlike Harry's isolation. Imagine Neville standing tall, leading the charge against Voldemort. It's a powerful image, showing heroism from unexpected places. Now, let's explore a scenario about family. What if Sirius had never been imprisoned? Sirius, Harry's godfather, James's best friend, and a man whose life was defined by loyalty and tragedy, spent 12 years in a cell for a crime he didn't commit. But what if fate had taken a kinder turn? What if the truth about Peter Pettigrew's betrayal had been uncovered that fateful night in 1981, and Sirius had been free to raise Harry as his own? How would this single change ripple through Harry's life, his relationships, and the battle against Voldemort? Let's set the scene. On October 31st, 1981, Voldemort attacks the Potters in Godric's Hollow. James and Lily die protecting their son, and Harry, just a year old, survives the killing curse, marking him as the boy who lived. In the original tale, Sirius arrives too late, confronts Pettigrew, and is framed for his supposed death and the murder of 12 Muggles. He's arrested without a trial, leaving Harry to the Dursleys' cold care. But imagine this, as Sirius chases Pettigrew through the street. Aurors arrive in time to witness Pettigrew's treachery. They see him sever his finger, transform into a rat, and flee, but not before he's caught. Pettigrew is interrogated, the truth spills out, and Sirius is exonerated. That night, instead of a prison cell, Sirius returns to Harry, cradling his godson in his arms as he vows to protect him. Harry's childhood transforms entirely. The Dursleys, Petunia with her pinched disdain, Vernon with his blustering cruelty, and Dudley with his spoiled entitlement, never enter the picture. Instead, Sirius takes Harry to a safe house, perhaps a cozy cottage hidden by Fidelius charms, or even Grimmauld Place, scrubbed of its dark past and filled with warmth. Sirius, though grieving the loss of James and Lily, pours his love into Harry. Picture a young Harry, not locked in a cupboard, but racing through fields on a toy broomstick, Sirius laughing as he chases him. Nights are spent by the fire, Sirius recounting tales of the marauders, James's pranks, Lily's kindness, and their unshakable friendship. Harry grows up knowing he's a wizard, his parents' legacy alive in every story. This upbringing shapes Harry in profound ways. In the original story, the Dursleys' neglect fosters humility and resilience, but also a deep-seated insecurity. With Sirius, Harry's confidence blooms early. He's a child who knows he's loved, who mirrors Sirius's roguish charm and James's boldness. Yet, Sirius isn't a perfect guardian. His own wounds, the guilt of surviving when James didn't, the rage at Pettigrew's betrayal, make him fiercely protective. He might hover over Harry, teaching him defensive spells long before Hogwarts, or bristling at any hint of danger. This could create a dynamic tension. Harry, eager to explore, chafing under Sirius's watchful eye, their love tested by their stubbornness. Now, let's imagine Harry's arrival at Hogwarts. In the books, he steps onto platform 9 3/4 as an unknown, marveling at his fame. But with Sirius, Harry's already a figure in the wizarding world. The boy who lived, raised by the exonerated Sirius Black, would be a celebrity before his first train ride. Whispers follow him through King's Cross, parents pointing, children staring. On the Hogwarts Express, he might sit alone at first, overwhelmed, until familiar faces approach. Ron Weasley, drawn by curiosity, still befriends him, but their bond forms differently, less a meeting of equals, more a hero and his admirer. Hermione too joins them, her intellect a counterpoint to Harry's newfound swagger. For at Hogwarts, Harry's experience shifts. Sorted into Gryffindor, he's no stranger to magic, arriving with tricks Sirius taught him, perhaps even a rudimentary Patronus. Teachers like McGonagall see James in his grin, though Snape's hatred burns hotter, Sirius's freedom a constant reminder of past grudges. Harry's confidence makes him a leader early on, but it also draws envy. Draco Malfoy's taunts carry extra venom, targeting Harry's privileged upbringing. Yet, Sirius's presence looms large. He might visit Hogsmeade weekends, slipping Harry fire whiskey or marauder secrets, much to Dumbledore's chagrin. Their bond strengthens Harry, but it also isolates him. Classmates see him as untouchable, a boy with a legend for a godfather. Let's explore Sirius's role beyond Harry. Free from Azkaban, he rejoins the Order of the Phoenix immediately. With Pettigrew in custody, Sirius hunts lingering Death Eaters, his knowledge of their tactics honed by years with James and Remus. He becomes Dumbledore's right hand, a fiery contrast to the headmaster's calm. In the years before Voldemort's return, Sirius might uncover plots, like Barty Crouch Jr.'s escape, thwarting them before they bloom. His freedom strengthens the Order, making it a proactive force rather than a reactive one. Yet, his recklessness worries allies. Sirius pushes for bold strikes, clashing with Dumbledore's patience, their debates echoing through Grimmauld Place. This brings us to Voldemort's resurrection in the Goblet of Fire. In the original story, Pettigrew aids Voldemort's return using Harry's blood. Here, with Pettigrew imprisoned, Voldemort's followers, perhaps Bellatrix or Lucius, find another way, but Sirius's vigilance delays them. When Harry's name emerges from the goblet, Sirius storms Hogwarts, demanding answers. He shadows the Tri-Wizard tournament, suspecting foul play, and when Harry faces Voldemort in the graveyard, Sirius arrives with the Order, turning a solitary nightmare into a skirmish. Harry survives, but the encounter cements Sirius's fears. Voldemort wants his godson dead. Emotionally, Sirius's freedom transforms Harry's inner world. The Dursleys' cruelty left him yearning for belonging. Sirius fills that void with fierce, unconditional love. Harry grows up secure, less haunted by loss, though Sirius's tales of James and Lily keep their memory vivid. Yet, Sirius's own scars, his survivor's guilt, his thirst for vengeance, seep into Harry. He might inherit Sirius's impulsiveness, leaping into danger without pause, a trait that both saves and endangers him. Their bond is a lifeline, but it's not without strain. Sirius's overprotectiveness might spark arguments, Harry at 13 snapping, "I'm not a kid anymore," only for them to reconcile over shared laughter. Key moments shift dramatically. In The Prisoner of Azkaban, there's no fugitive Sirius, no time-turner rescue. Instead, Sirius might confront Remus about his secrecy, their reunion bittersweet but unmarred by Azkaban's toll. In The Order of the Phoenix, Sirius doesn't die at the Department of Mysteries. He's there, fighting beside Harry, his survival a beacon of hope. This alters Harry's arc. Without that loss, he's less isolated, more anchored, though perhaps less driven to face Voldemort alone. Sirius's presence might even soften Snape, their rivalry tempered by years of forced civility, though never fully resolved. What? The broader wizarding world feels the change. Sirius, a black by blood but a rebel by choice, challenges pure-blood elitism openly. He might mentor young wizards, Fred and George, perhaps, encouraging their mischief as resistance. His freedom weakens Voldemort's narrative. If a black can defy the Dark Lord, others might follow. Yet, Sirius becomes a target. Bellatrix, enraged by his treachery, hunts him relentlessly, her obsession personal. The Order gains strength, but Sirius's high profile draws danger, forcing him and Harry into hiding at times, their lives a dance of defiance and caution. Let's ponder the war's climax. In the Deathly Hallows, Sirius fights at Hogwarts, his wand blazing beside Harry's. His survival might shift the final battle. Voldemort, enraged by Sirius's defiance, targets him, giving Harry an opening. Alternatively, Sirius could sacrifice himself, his death a mirror to Lily's, shielding Harry one last time. Either way, his presence bolsters the resistance, his charisma rallying fighters. Post-war, if he lives, Sirius helps rebuild, a bridge between old families and new ideals, his laughter echoing through a healing world. But there's a shadow to this brightness. Harry's struggles, his loneliness, his outsider status, forge his compassion. Without them, raised in Sirius's bold light, he might be brasher, less attuned to others' pain. Sirius's freedom spares Harry trauma, but it might dull the empathy that defines him. And Sirius himself, untested by Azkaban's despair, might never confront his own flaws, his recklessness, his pride, leaving them to shape Harry in turn. Not a cute. Imagine Harry and Sirius silhouetted against a sunset, their bond a tether through chaos. It's a vision of love unbroken, yet it whispers a truth. Even in joy, growth demands a sacrifice. Now, let's turn to a Slytherin's crossroads. What if Draco had been a double agent? As Draco Malfoy, a name synonymous with privilege, prejudice, and ultimately conflict. Raised in the shadow of pure blood supremacy, Draco's path seems set. A loyal son, a Death Eater, a pawn in Voldemort's game. Yet, beneath his sneers lies a boy wrestling with doubt. What if Draco had seized that doubt and turned it into action? What if he'd become a double agent, secretly aiding the Order of the Phoenix while wearing the mask of a Death Eater? How would his choice reshape his fate, Harry's journey, and the war itself? Let's rewind to Draco's breaking point. In The Half-Blood Prince, he's 16, tasked with killing Dumbledore, a burden that cracks his bravado. We see him sobbing in the bathroom, hesitating atop the astronomy tower, moments where his humanity peeks through. In this scenario, that hesitation becomes a turning point. Imagine Draco, after disarming Dumbledore, faltering as Snape arrives. Instead of fleeing, he whispers to Snape, "I can't do this." Snape, a double agent himself, sees the opportunity. Under the guise of loyalty to Voldemort, he recruits Draco, promising protection for his family if he spies for the Order. Draco's new role is perilous. He returns to Malfoy Manor, pale and sharp-edged, playing the dutiful Death Eater. Bellatrix drills him with questions, her wand twitching while Lucius watches, proud yet suspicious. Draco's every word is a tightrope walk, feeding the Death Eaters just enough to maintain his cover, while slipping secrets to Snape via coded messages or whispered meetings. He learns Voldemort's plans, raids, Horcrux locations, the siege of Hogwarts. Each tidbit he passes to the Order saves lives, but the cost is steep. Sleepless nights, a gnawing fear of exposure, and the weight of betraying his blood. Et Foract. Consider the half-blood prince anew. Draco still fixes the Vanishing Cabinet, but he sabotages it subtly. Perhaps a delay in its magic, giving the Order time to prepare. When Death Eaters invade Hogwarts, Dumbledore's death unfolds, but Draco's warning ensures fewer casualties. He stands among the attackers, heart pounding as Snape kills Dumbledore, their eyes meeting in silent understanding. The Order, tipped off, ambushes the intruders as they flee, turning a triumph into a stalemate. Draco's role remains hidden, his mask intact. In the Deathly Hallows, Draco's position at Malfoy Manor becomes a goldmine. When Harry, Ron, and Hermione are captured, Draco hesitates to identify them, not out of cowardice, but calculation. He slips Hermione a hairpin during the chaos, whispering "Go" as Bellatrix rages. Their escape owes as much to his quiet aid as to Dobby's bravery. Later, he feeds the Order Voldemort's movements, Nagini's guard, the Ministry's fall, each act a thread unraveling the Dark Lord's web. Yet, he's haunted by the danger to his parents, Narcissa's worried glances piercing his facade. Draco's relationship with Harry evolves. In the original tale, they're rivals, their clashes fueled by ideology and pride. Here, Harry learns of Draco's role, perhaps from Snape's dying memories, and distrusts him fiercely. "You're a Malfoy," he snarls during a tense meeting. But necessity binds them. Draco's intel saves Harry in a raid. Harry spares Draco in a skirmish. Slowly, grudging respect grows. Picture them in a crumbling safe house, rain drumming the roof, sharing a nod over a map. Enemies turned allies, their past a ghost between them. Indeed. Internally, Draco transforms. The boy who mocked mudbloods confronts his upbringing's lies. Each Order victory, each life spared, chips at his prejudice, though guilt festers. He's betraying his father's legacy, endangering his mother's love. Narcissa, sensing his turmoil, might uncover his secret. In a tearful confrontation, she chooses him over Voldemort, smuggling aid to the Order in secret. Lucius, if he learns, faces a reckoning, his son's defiance a mirror to his failures. The Malfoy family splinters, then heals, their love tested by fire. The Battle of Hogwarts becomes Draco's crucible. He walks among Death Eaters, feeding misinformation, directing them to traps, weakening their lines. When Voldemort calls for Harry, Draco's heart lurches. He knows the stakes. Perhaps he confronts his aunt, wand trembling, buying time as Harry slips away. Or maybe he's exposed. Bellatrix's scream, "Traitor!" echoing as he flees to the Order's side. Either way, his actions tilt the scales. Voldemort falls, and Draco stands bloodied, but alive, his redemption etched in scars. The wizarding world shifts. Draco's defection inspires others. Slytherins like Pansy or Blaze, torn between loyalty and conscience. Post-war, he's a pariah to some, a hero to others. He might testify against Death Eaters, his voice steady, or work to dismantle pure-blood dogma. His name a bridge between old and new. Harry, at the Ministry's rebuild, offers a handshake, tentative but real. Their sons, Albus and Scorpius, inherit a friendship unmarred by hate, a legacy of choices remade. Yet, redemption costs. Draco bears the trauma of duplicity, nightmares of Bellatrix's cackle, his parents' faces if he'd failed. His swagger fades, replaced by quiet resolve. He's no saint. His early cruelty lingers in memory. But his journey proves even the deepest shadows can turn to light, given a spark of courage. See Draco, wand lowered, choosing a path uncharted. It's a tale of redemption, hard won, a reminder that even in darkness, we can rewrite our stars. Next, we explore a family's absence. What if the Weasleys had never befriended Harry? The Weasleys. Red hair, warm hearts, and a home that welcomed Harry when he had none. They're the heartbeat of his story, a family chosen over blood. But what if that bond never formed? What if Harry, lost at King's Cross, never met Ron, never stepped into the Burrow's chaotic embrace? How would his life and the wizarding world shift without the Weasleys' love? Picture that first day. In the Philosopher's Stone, Harry, 11 and bewildered, searches for platform 9 3/4. Molly's voice, packed with muggles of course, guides him, and Ron's grin on the train seals their friendship. Now imagine Harry missing that moment. Perhaps he asks a porter, or Hagrid lingers to help. He boards the express alone, a small figure clutching his trunk, no redheads in sight. The compartment stays empty, or fills with strangers like Neville or Seamus, leaving Harry to face Hogwarts unmoored. Quoi? His emotional world darkens. The Dursleys' abuse left him hollow, craving connection. The Weasleys filled that void. Molly's hugs, Arthur's curiosity, Ron's loyalty. Without them, Harry's loneliness deepens. He's a boy adrift, his fame a burden rather than a bridge. At Hogwarts, he might befriend Hermione after the troll incident, but their duo lacks Ron's levity. Hermione's logic clashes with Harry's brooding, their talks tense without a mediator. Neville could join them, his quiet courage a comfort, but the trio's magic, its balance of heart, mind, and soul, never ignites. Key events twist. In the Chamber of Secrets, no flying car rescues Harry from Privet Drive. He might endure the Dursleys' bars, rescued later by Hagrid, his isolation stark. At school, without Ron, he faces the basilisk with Hermione alone, their victory colder, less triumphant. In The Prisoner of Azkaban, Harry runs from the Dursleys after inflating Marge, but no Weasley refuge awaits. He wanders Diagon Alley, vulnerable, until Dumbledore intervenes. Sirius's escape unfolds, but without Ron's rat, Pettigrew's betrayal stays buried longer, delaying truths. The Weasleys' absence ripples outward. The Order of the Phoenix loses its backbone, the Burrow's sanctuary, Molly's ferocity, Fred and George's ingenuity. In the Order of the Phoenix, Harry's trial lacks Arthur's guidance. He navigates the Ministry alone, his anger raw. In the Deathly Hallows, the trio's hunt, assuming Ron's still absent, lacks a safe haven. Harry and Hermione camp in bleak forests, their morale fraying. The Battle of Hogwarts feels the void. No Bill defending the gates, no Percy's redemption, no Molly felling Bellatrix. The resistance weakens, its warmth is dimmed. Harry's character shifts. The Weasleys grounded him, their love a shield against despair. Without them, he's harder, more self-reliant, his empathy forged in solitude rather than shared joy. He might lean on Hagrid, whose kindness is a lifeline, or Remus, who steps closer as a mentor. But these bonds lack the Weasleys' vibrancy, their noise, their mess, their life. Harry could grow cynical, his humor replaced by a steely resolve, or withdraw, trusting few beyond Hermione. Romance falters. Ginny, without Ron's link, remains a distant crush. Their love, built on shared summers, never blooms. Harry might turn to Cho, their connection deepening through shared loss, or Luna, her oddity a balm. But these lack Ginny's fire, her understanding of his scars. He faces Voldemort unpaired, his heart unclaimed, a lone warrior shaped by absence. The wizarding world suffers. The Weasleys embodied resistance to elitism, poor but proud, open to all. Without them, pure-blood rhetoric gains ground, the Order's ideals less tangible. Hogwarts feels colder, its Gryffindor spirit muted. Yet, Harry might rise differently, his isolation fueling a crusade for the marginalized, a leader born of need rather than nurture. He could rally outcasts, Neville, Luna, Dean, their unity a new family forged in battle. Emotionally, Harry's loss is profound. The Burrow's crooked walls, Molly's sweater on Christmas morn, these tethered him to humanity. Without them, he's a hero unsoftened by love, his victories hollow. Ron's absence especially cuts deep. No best mate shares his burdens. No laughter breaks his silence. Yet, this solitude might sharpen his destiny, his will unyielding against Voldemort's shadow. The war's end teeters. Without the Weasleys, Harry destroys Horcruxes with grim determination, Hermione, his sole anchor. At Hogwarts, he faces Voldemort alone, his sacrifice in the forest final, unless Neville or another steps up. Victory comes, but it's bittersweet. The cost steeper without the Weasleys' light. Post-war, Harry rebuilds a world he barely knows, his legacy one of endurance over joy. Envision Harry staring at an empty platform, his heart a quiet ache. It's a tale of loss and strength, showing how family, chosen or not, shapes us. Now, let's face a darker failure. What if the Golden Trio had failed to destroy all the Horcruxes? The Horcrux hunt, the desperate quest that defined Harry, Ron, and Hermione's war against Voldemort. 7 fragments of a shattered soul, hidden in objects of power, their destruction the key to his end. They succeeded, but narrowly. What if they hadn't? What if one Horcrux, be it the diadem, the cup, or another, remained undiscovered, its dark magic intact? How would this failure alter the story's end, the wizarding world's fate, and the trio's legacy? Let's begin in the Deathly Hallows. The trio scours Britain, Gringotts, Hogwarts, grim camps, destroying Horcruxes with basilisk fangs and desperation. Imagine they miss one. Perhaps Ravenclaw's diadem, hidden in the Room of Requirement, escapes their notice. Crabbe's fiendfire doesn't ignite, or they leave too soon. Or Hufflepuff's cup, stashed deeper in Bellatrix's vault, eludes them. They believe their task complete, unaware a shard of Voldemort's soul lingers, binding him to life. The Battle of Hogwarts unfolds. Harry walks to the forest, sacrificing himself to destroy the Horcrux within. Voldemort's curse strikes, and Harry falls, but the Dark Lord rises again. In the original tale, all Horcruxes are gone, rendering Voldemort mortal. Here, one survives. The Great Hall erupts. Neville slays Nagini, but Voldemort laughs, unscathed by Harry's defiance. The Elder Wand falters, its allegiance muddled, and Voldemort retreats, wounded but alive, his immortality a mocking truth. The immediate fallout is chaos. Hogwarts mourns Harry, believing him their savior, only to learn Voldemort endures. The Order scatters, exhausted, while Death Eaters regroup. The wizarding world, briefly hopeful, sinks into dread as Voldemort vanishes, plotting his return. Years pass, a decade perhaps, before he resurfaces, his power restored, his wrath absolute. The Ministry, rebuilt under Kingsley, crumbles anew, its optimism betrayed by a foe they thought vanquished. Alternatively, the trio survives, discovering their error too late. Harry wakes in the forest, spared by Lily's protection, but Voldemort's survival shatters him. Ron and Hermione, ragged from their hunt, face a grim reality. They failed. They flee, hunted by Death Eaters, their mission renewed but hopeless. The Horcrux's location, unknown, its clues lost, haunts them. They scour old leads, interrogate captives, their youth fading into a relentless chase. Tension frays their bond. Ron's despair clashing with Hermione's obsession, Harry's guilt a silent wall. Voldemort's prolonged reign darkens everything. With one Horcrux intact, he rules unchecked. Hogwarts becomes a Death Eater stronghold, its halls silent, its magic twisted. Muggleborns vanish, resistance dwindles. The Order, without Harry's spark, fractures. Remus falls early, Tonks with him, their son an orphan. Ginny leads a guerrilla fight, her fire undimmed but losses mount. The prophecy, neither can live while the other survives, loops endlessly, Harry's death a false promise. Yet, hope flickers. Neville, tempered by war, rises as a leader, his defiance a beacon. He might uncover the diadem, its resting place revealed in desperation, or rally others to storm Gringotts anew. Hermione, her mind a steel trap, deciphers forgotten lore. Perhaps a founder's secret ties the Horcrux to Hogwarts. Ron, ever the heart, keeps them grounded, his loyalty a lifeline. Together they hunt, years stretching into a saga, their youth sacrificed to a task unfinished. Harry's burden grows. If he lives, he's a ghost, haunted by his victory, driven to end Voldemort at any cost. His sacrifice's protection lingers, shielding fighters, but it's not enough. He might face Voldemort again, weaker now, only to die truly, leaving the final blow to others. If he's dead, his spirit watches, perhaps from King's Cross, urging Neville or Ginny forward, a spectral guide in a world unhealed. The wizarding world twists into dystopia. Voldemort's immortality breeds despair. Why fight what cannot die? Yet, his paranoia festers. He guards the last Horcrux obsessively, his sanity fraying. This weakness offers a crack. Draco, seeking atonement, might betray its location, or Luna's odd insight unearths it. The final battle, when it comes, is brutal. Generations lost. Hogwarts a ruin, but victory, if achieved, is a collective cry, not Harry's alone. Emotionally, the trio breaks. Harry's guilt, I should have known, eats him alive. Hermione's brilliance turns inward, her failure a wound. Ron's humor fades, his family's losses, Fred, perhaps more, silencing him. Yet, their love endures, a thread through darkness. If Harry dies early, Ron and Hermione carry his torch, their grief a fuel. The story shifts from triumph to endurance, a testament to human will against eternal night. Post-war, if they win, the world heals slowly. Harry's name, dead or alive, becomes myth, his failure a lesson of vigilance. Survivors rebuild, their scars a map of loss. The Horcrux hunt's legacy lingers. New generations guard against such evil, their magic tempered by history's weight. Picture a world dimmed, yet defiant, its heroes unbroken by shadow. It's a stark vision, proving even failure can birth resilience. Now, our final tale. What if Harry had died in the Forbidden Forest? Harry's walk into the Forbidden Forest is the saga's soul, a boy, barely 17, choosing death to save all he loves. In the Deathly Hallows, he faces Voldemort's curse, dies, and returns, his sacrifice shattering a Horcrux and paving victory. But what if he hadn't returned? What if the magic faltered? Lily's protection, the wand's loyalty, and Harry died in the forest. His life ended forever. How would his death reshape the war, his friends, and the wizarding world? Let's relive that night. Harry, cloaked in resolve, enters the forest, the resurrection stone cold in his hand. James, Lily, Sirius, and Remus walk with him, their voices a balm. Voldemort waits, his eyes gleaming, and casts Avada Kedavra. In the books, Harry wakes at King's Cross, choosing life. Here, he doesn't. The curse strikes true. His body crumples, and the stone falls silent. Voldemort laughs, triumphant, as Hagrid's wail echoes through the trees. The Battle of Hogwarts shifts. Voldemort parades Harry's body, a trophy to break the defenders. In the original tale, his return rallies them. Now, despair spreads. Ron's roar, Hermione's sob, Ginny's collapse. Their grief is a wound, yet Harry's sacrifice isn't empty. Like lilies, it shields those he loves. Voldemort's curses weaken, his power falters. The resistance, shattered but furious, fights on, their rage a tribute to the boy who lived and died. Neville steps forward. In the books, he kills Nagini, the final Horcrux. Here, he does the same. Sword of Gryffindor flashing, serpent's head falling, rendering Voldemort mortal. But without Harry, the Elder Wand's mastery is unclear. Voldemort wields it, believing it his, yet its loyalty wavers, its spells erratic. The battle becomes a melee. Order, students, creatures clashing with Death Eaters, their numbers thinning. Molly still fells Bellatrix, her cry primal, but the cost mounts. Tonks, perhaps Kingsley, lost in the fray. Who faces Voldemort? Neville, hardened by loss, might charge, wand blazing, only to fall. His courage a spark, not a flame. Ron and Hermione, united in grief, could confront him, their spells a dance of fury and precision. Or Ginny, her love a weapon, strikes, her hexes wild but true. The killing blow might come collectively. McGonagall's shield, Flitwick's charm, a student's desperate curse, felling the Dark Lord in a chorus of defiance. Victory dawns, but it's ash without Harry. The emotional toll devastates. Ron, Hermione, and Ginny bear the deepest scars. Harry was their brother, their heart, their hope. Ron hardens, his humor buried with Fred and now Harry. Hermione channels loss into purpose, her mind a bulwark against collapse. Ginny, fierce and broken, fights to honor him, her tears a vow. The Weasleys mourn doubly, their adopted son gone. Remus, if alive, takes Teddy and retreats, his last link to James severed. The wizarding world reels. Harry's death makes him a martyr, songs sung, statues raised, his name a prayer. Yet the void aches. Hogwarts reopens, its halls hushed, its spirit bruised. The ministry, led by survivors like Shacklebolt, rebuilds, but factions rise. Some blame Harry's failure, others revere his sacrifice. Voldemort's fall brings peace, but it's fragile, the cost etched in every face. Hope persists. Neville, if he lives, leads with quiet strength, his legacy tied to Harry's. Luna spreads light, her faith unshaken. The next generation, Teddy Lupin perhaps, grows under Harry's shadow, their world freer for his loss. Post-war, Hermione pens his story, ensuring his truth endures, while Ron guards his memory, a sentinel of their past. Harry's death redefines the tale. Love's power shines. His sacrifice weakens Voldemort, proving intent outlasts magic. Yet, it's a collective triumph, not a hero's. The prophecy fulfills darkly. Harry dies. Voldemort follows, their fates entwined. The ending is bittersweet, a dawn bought with blood, its beauty in its fragility. See Harry, still in the forest, his peace eternal. It's a sacrifice absolute, a reminder that love's cost can light the darkest night. Now, let's conclude. Here we are, listeners, at the end of our winding path through the what-ifs of Harry Potter's world. Over hours, we've wandered alternate trails, Sirius free, Draco redeemed, the Weasleys distant, Horcruxes enduring, Harry fallen. Each scenario, a prism of possibility, refracts the story we know into new hues, revealing its depth, its fragility, its magic. As we close, let's linger here, reflecting on what these tales teach us about choice, fate, and the enduring spell of this universe. First, let's marvel at the tapestry we've woven. Sirius's freedom paints a Harry bold and loved, yet untested by solitude's forge. Draco's turn to the light crafts a redemption arc, his courage a bridge across divides. The Weasley's absence dims Harry's warmth, his strength born of shadow instead. The Horcrux failure stretches the war into a bleak epic, resilience its heartbeat. Harry's death crowns him a martyr, his loss a rallying cry. Each thread, vibrant, dark, tender, shows how delicate the original tale's balance is, how one shift can rewrite destinies. These scenarios highlight choice's power. Sirius chooses Harry over vengeance. Draco picks conscience over legacy. Harry opts for sacrifice over survival. Even in failure, the trio's missed Horcrux. Their will to fight persists. The Weasleys' absence forces Harry to choose his family elsewhere. Every what if hinges on decisions, echoing the book's truth. We shape our fates, not prophecies or bloodlines. It's a soothing thought, isn't it? That even in a world of wands and curses, the heart's resolve reigns. Fate, too, dances through these tales. Sirius's exoneration feels fated, a correction of injustice, yet it alters Harry's path unpredictably. Draco's double agency defies his upbringing's doom, a twist of free will against destiny. The Horcrux scenario traps fate in a loop. Voldemort's immortality, a curse unbroken, until new hands seize it. Harry's death fulfills the prophecy starkly, his end fated yet transformative. These stories whisper that fate isn't a chain, but a river, guiding yet shaped by our strokes. The wizarding world itself expands here. Sirius's freedom strengthens the order, a beacon against darkness. Draco's betrayal cracks pure-blood unity, hinting at reform. The Weasleys' loss weakens resistance, showing their quiet might. A lingering Horcrux darkens the globe, its people enduring tyranny. Harry's sacrifice births a collective heroism, a world reborn through many. Each change ripples, Hogwarts, the Ministry, Diagon Alley, proving this universe lives beyond its heroes, a breathing realm of countless souls. Emotion binds these visions. Love, Sirius's for Harry, Narcissa's for Draco, the Weasleys, for all, fuels their shifts. Grief, Harry's without family, the trio's at failure, the world's at his death, tempers their strength. Redemption, resilience, loss, these pulse through, mirroring our own hearts. As you listen, drifting toward sleep, feel these echoes, the ache of what might have been, the hope of what could be. They're the magic that keeps us returning to this tale. Let's reflect on the original story's brilliance. J.K. Rowling wove a narrative so rich, its threads invite endless reimagining. Harry's humility, born of hardship, shines brighter against Sirius's nurture. Draco's ambiguity gains depth beside his heroism. The Weasleys' warmth stands stark against their absence. The Horcrux hunt's success feels fragile, Harry's survival a miracle. These what-ifs don't diminish the books, they exalt them, showing how each choice, each pain, crafted a perfect storm of triumph. Now, a personal note. Crafting these scenarios has been a journey. Of late nights, soft music, and a wand's flick in my mind. I've pictured Sirius laughing with Harry, Draco's trembling hand, the burrow's silence, a Horcrux glowing in shadow, Harry's final breath. They've lived in me as they now live in you. This is the gift of stories. They grow, they breathe, they belong to us all. Whether you are here to relax, to dream, or to ponder, I hope these hours have wrapped you in their spell. What do these tales mean for us? They're mirrors. Sirius's loyalty asks who we'd protect. Draco's turn probes our courage. The Weasleys' love seeks our chosen kin. The Horcrux hunt tests our perseverance. Harry's death dares us to give. In our Muggle lives, magic lies in these questions. As you close your eyes, ponder your what-ifs, roads untaken, chances seized. Like Harry, we're heroes of our own sagas, our wands the choices we wield. The wizarding world endures because it's ours. These scenarios, 5,000 words each, hours of whispered possibilities, prove its infinity. Picture Sirius by a hearth, Draco in shadow, Ron's empty seat, a diadem's gleam, Harry's still form. They're real in this moment, alive in your mind's quiet corners. The magic isn't in spells or brooms. It's in us, in the stories we tell, the dreams we chase. So, dear listener, rest now. Let these alternate worlds cradle you, Hogwarts aglow, the forest hushed, the burrow waiting. May your sleep be gentle, your dreams vast, carrying whispers of wands and wonder. Thank you for this journey. Good night, and may magic find you always. So, dear listener, rest now. Let these alternate worlds cradle you, Hogwarts aglow, the forest hushed, the burrow waiting. May your sleep be gentle, your dreams vast, carrying whispers of wands and wonder. Thank you for this journey. Good night, and may magic find you always.